Bonjour, je m'appelle Thomas. That's about all the French I know, guys. But in this video, I'm going to share with you the footage that I took while I was in France and also how I took that footage. So before I get into it, I just wanted to share that because if you're planning on traveling, I'm sure you want to get great shots, but you may not want to carry a big phone gimbal or a big camera setup. This setup to me worked fantastic and I highly recommend it. Maybe it's not for everyone, but for me, I wanted to travel light and I felt like this was the best way to do it. And what I did was this footage was taken primarily with the HERO10 Black. Here it is right here. This small little camera does footage up to 5K. Now, most of the footage that I took was in the 4K setting, and I did take some footage with my iPhone 13, which I kind of edited into the videos that you're gonna see. And what I would do every day was the footage that I took during that day, I would download it to my phone using the GoPro QUIK app. And the GoPro QUIK app allows you to create a video edit where the GoPro QUIK app kind of creates its own themed slideshow and animation of your video. I think it's really cool, especially if you're trying to do something quick, you want to share this, fairly quickly. This is the way to go. This is the, I think it does really cool edits. It can have some more options, absolutely, but this will get it done. And this here is awesome. I love it. I would just take this out whenever I wanted to record something, put it right back in my pocket. I didn't have to worry about carrying this big gimbal around. I did do that once when I went to Spain, and I had the DJI Osmo 2, and I had to carry it around like this, and your arm gets tired. It's kind of awkward looking. You're gonna get a lot of people looking at you, and it's hard to put away. I mean, you have to be carrying a bag or something to put that thing away when you're not using it. So the GoPro, I could just put this in my pocket, in my jacket, no big deal, no big deal. So loved it. Let me know what you guys think of the footage that I took there. Not perfect. I mean, sometimes some of the editing could be taken further and make some corrections, but for quick video footage, I think this came out awesome. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below and check out the video. Thanks. We arrived about 6 a.m. in Paris, took a quick ride to our hotel, got checked in, took a quick nap, and then we headed out to catch the big bus tour. The big bus tour is a hop on and hop off tour that is part of the museum pass. It's good for one day and it's a great way to get a quick glimpse of Paris and all the iconic sights. Now, it was a little chilly, but I do recommend getting a seat on the top level of the bus so you can get the best views of the city. I recommend doing the big bus tour first because it really gave us a good sense of the size and magnitude of this city, and perhaps it will let you know what sites you may really want to go see and experience and what sites you just might want to pass over. Here we are passing through the Ave Champs Elysees, the iconic shopping area with a view of the Arc de Triomphe at the end. With large pedestrian-friendly sidewalks and cafes, it makes for a great spot to people watch. However, depending on what you're shopping for, there are several other great shopping areas around the city that you may prefer over this one. Along the river, you will find many pop-up shops where local vendors will be selling books, paintings, souvenirs, and other items you may want to pick up. In Paris, there are no lack of historic French architectural buildings that are beautifully maintained to admire. Depending on what day it is, you may find this open air market open for business where you can find fresh produce, fish, and other items from local vendors. If you are hoping to get a tour of Notre Dame, you may have to put your travel plans on hold because it is still under restoration due to the fire a few years ago. Complete restoration is set to be complete in 2024, hopefully in time for the Olympics. For now, you may have to just admire this building from afar, or there is a tour that goes underneath the building that you may want to take. There are also several river boat tours that you can take, but since it was fairly chilly most of the days that we were there, we decided to opt out of that experience and take our chances with the bus or on foot. However, on a warmer or sunnier day, it might be a great way to spend on the river. Another site you don't want to miss is the Louvre Museum. There is a lot of people and a lot of visitors here, but there is a way to enter it that will save you a lot of time that I will share later in this video. Overall, the big bus tour was a great way to get a quick glimpse of Paris, but the best experience is on foot walking through the streets and cafes and shops, so make sure to bring some comfy shoes and let's check out this city. On day 2, we decided to use the metro system to our next destination. And beware, the metro system is massive. We purchased tickets daily. A one-way trip will run you about 1.9 euros, about $2 US. There are options to purchase prepaid passes, which looking back would have been a better deal. Make sure you know where you're going. The metro crowd moves fast, and if you're not paying attention, you will find yourself several miles out of the city trying to find your way back. As a graduate of architecture, the metro system is quite impressive. And after a quick detour, we found ourselves at our destination, the Sainte Chapelle. And if you don't have tickets, there is a separate line to wait in, so always purchase tickets ahead if possible. The Sainte Chapelle is an impressive sight and definitely should be on your list of must-sees while visiting Paris. Cherry blossom trees can be found throughout the city, even in March. Close to our hotel, within walking distance, was Moulin Rouge. The museum pass also included a walking tour that included a tour of the Basilique du Sacre Coeur in Montmartre. This is the second most visited site in Paris and also the highest point of the city. There is a viewing point in the tower that if you're up to the challenge, it's 290 steps to the top, but if you make it, you can enjoy an amazing panoramic view of the city like no other. The museum pass also includes a train ride back to town that is much welcomed after climbing so many steps. Evenings in Paris are an entirely different experience, with many people coming out later for dinner. Cafes are open late and are a great way to end your night. Day 2 was another great sightseeing day with a little bit of sun to break the overcast conditions. After a quick typical French breakfast, we set off on our first stop, the Louvre. Now, we entered via the metro, so we were able to enter without much of the line at all. I highly recommend taking the metro to the Louvre if possible. Also, arriving early will help you beat the crowd of tourists and school crowds that quickly start to crowd the space. The Louvre Museum is massive. Make sure you grab a brochure to find the exhibits that you want to go see. The building itself is wonderful in its architectural aspects alone, and the exhibits just make it that much more of an experience. The Louvre is home to the Mona Lisa, so if you want to catch a glimpse of this, make sure you check it out pretty early on because the line to take a picture directly in front of it is long. I just settled for going around the side. Building was designed by a team of architects: Richard Rogers, Sue Rogers, Renzo Piano, and Gianfranco Francini. Today, it houses a vast public library, a movie theater, a National Museum of Modern Art, the largest in Europe, and it is also a center for music and acoustic research. The center of Pompidou is also the inspiration for the Nike Air Max 1. In 2018, Nike even released a special edition Nike Air Max 1 Pompidou Center Day in honor of the inspirational structure that started the brand. If you want to grab a pair today, you can find them for about $300 to $500. At the top of the center, you will also find a cafe and a great spot to catch views of the city. No trip to Paris is complete without taking a little time to do some shopping. The Avenue Champs Elysees is a great place to unload some of those Euro dollars before you get back on that plane. Whether you're shopping for a brand new car or just a new pair of shoes, this avenue has what you're looking for. And if you couldn't fit your Lamborghini in your suitcase, don't worry. Right here on the avenue, you can take pictures with a Lamborghini for a small. And sidewalks that are lined with cafes, luxury shops, and theaters. A short train ride away, about 12 miles from Paris, you can find the Palace of Versailles. The Palace of Versailles is visited by more than 15 million people every year, making it one of the most visited attractions in the world. First built as a hunting lodge by King Louis XIII, Louis XIV expanded the chateau in several phases and ultimately made it into his primary residence. He also moved the seat of government to Versailles, essentially making Versailles the de facto capital of France. Today, the palace and park are designated by UNESCO World Heritage Site. The palace contains art and furniture of different eras and a massive garden. The most famous room in the palace is the Hall of Mirrors. Originally designed as a terrace, it was considered awkward and above all exposed to bad weather. It wasn't long before they made the decision to demolish it and create this large gallery. The outdoor garden is massive, and we were visiting in March, so a lot of the trees and plants were dead, but it was still a wonderful sight to see. And you can explore this on foot, but we opted in to rent the cart for €38 per hour. There are several chateaus on the property and lots of trails and hidden gems to discover. No trip to Paris is complete without a trip to the Eiffel Tower. Towering over the city, you will find many great photo opportunities to capture this iconic structure that lets everyone know you have arrived in Paris. Completed in 1889 for the World's Fair, it was initially criticized by artists and intellectuals, but today it is a global cultural icon of France and one of the most recognizable structures in the world. It is also the most visited monument with an entrance fee in the world. Standing over 1,000 feet tall, 81 stories to be exact, it is the tallest structure in Paris. As the sun sets, the tower lights sparkle for 5 minutes at the top of every hour. At the top of the tower, you will find a beacon light that reaches up to 80 kilometers, nearly 50 miles. About an hour's ride from Paris in Poissy, France, you will find the Villa Savoye. This famous modernist villa designed by the architect Le Corbusier and cousin Pierre Jeanneret in 1931 is believed to be the most evident representation of Le Corbu's 5 points of modern architecture. His 5 points consisted of pilotis, replacing supporting walls with a grid column structure, a free-designed ground plan, a free-designed facade, horizontal windows, and a roof garden. In 2016, the site was declared a World Heritage Site by UNESCO, along with 16 other homes around the world designed by Le Corbusier. The Passage des Panoramas is the oldest covered passage of Paris. It was one of the first covered commercial passages in Europe to contain a transparent roof that allowed light in. Later, it was also the first to add gas lighting to illuminate its halls. It is considered to be the ancestor of today's modern shopping malls. Today, the passage contains a variety of shops, including cafes, jewelry shops, furniture shops, bookshops, and more. Paris has many small, innovative design cafes that make the absolute most of every inch of space. If you happen to be traveling with children and they are craving some McDonald's, relax, because in Paris you can also find some American food chains such as McDonald's, Chipotle, KFC, and more. The Galeries Lafayette is a great store to swing by that has all the name brands you would expect. Housed in virtually 2 city blocks, one side is dedicated for menswear and the other for women. Ultimately, Paris is a city much like any other, with people bustling about to the next destination. Cafes all around the city provide great places to stop and people watch while enjoying a pizza, a steak, or nice dessert. Be sure to bring some nice comfortable walking shoes to traverse this city and enjoy the many things Paris has to offer. Visiting Paris is a great experience. I would repeat it, and I recommend anyone to visit at least once in their lifetime. Thanks for watching this video, and if you like it and found some value in it, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to this channel for more great content. Thanks, and I will see you next time. Au revoir.